I've noticed about me as a phenomenon, and it might apply to everyone, is we go through like weather systems of mind. Sometimes it's nice to wake up and just do a routine and get in your Tai Chi and do your thing and whatever, and just be like, I need to cleanse myself of every piece of atmospheric pollution and shit around me in the form of technology, Google Learning, androids, and whatever's targeting me, because it feels like a direct attack personally in darkness, torment, struggles, negativity, shit, all coming at me via checks and channels nowadays. And I don't know if that's true of everybody else, but I just got a phone and I turn it on and the Google's like, and I'm like, right, so now you are tormenting me, goading me, provoking me, and saying I can't leave my own country. Oh, and now you are saying that, oh, it's targeting, oh, the fact that it's anything to do with the fact that I went to Venice last year, it's saying that I can't go to Venice now. Can't go to Venice. And I'd like to go to Venice because this little article is telling me that there's dolphins in the Venice canals for the first time in a long time because it's all clean. So it's just like, really? It's just like one of them ones. It feels a bit personal. And I don't know, that could be worse for other people. That's just an example of it. But there are some days where that could really get people down. It's like, this is your world to enjoy and have a good time on, and they're telling you otherwise. Now, for me, day one, when Corona, the thing that's labelled all over bleach bottles and toilet duct for over a decade or so as a germ, comes out, the first day I just turned it off. Couldn't listen. I was like, fuck off. Something in my whole being, like many of my friends, went bollocks. I know machine learning, I know password sharing, I know think tank culture, I know climate ruse, I know people on the Greta script trying to show down industrial when I see it in a script form over a flu variant. There are 100 flu variants. So it's just like, keep on telling us the lie. And then people go, well, I've had first-hand experience of it because people have been in hospital. I said, did it look any different to the flu or pneumonia, which is quite common? And people with the increase of things like ketamine usage and different things that go on culturally that can shift or be perceptible shifts. It's up to you to believe it or not, right? And it's still on that page myself. I think it's goading, torturous, tormentative, provocative, just your usual crap, really. You know, if your parents groomed you into that at your primary schools and shit and gave you all that stuff, fine. But people like my nan, my matriarchal nana, never had one live to 95. Her opinion, she was left alone. Well, when it comes to this, whatever. Anyway, I'm going off the tail. I want to keep this shorter than that one. Yeah. The whole thing. It's atmospheric. For me, the main concern was, like, people say we're going into a different vibration because probably maybe all these different factors, tech and 5Gs and whatever, we're raising the vibration of the planet. I call it just intuition and stuff like that. It's like Greta was trying to close down the industrial side of life, right? She was trying to do it with the traffic, with the students, with the green issues. I've been on my own personal mission trying to close down metal industrial, arms industrial, and other such industrial. And you could argue that all those things, which they do in their transportation and everything else, adds to climate change because it's a lot of production and industrial. Same as farmer is production and industrial. So, like, it might look like I'll be public enemy mum bomb because you'll think because the flu's something to get together over and unite over. Oh, someone's standing up against this think tank culture script bollocks. But ultimately, look at the statistics. My dad got the jab. He's got the corona. He got the jab and now he's developed the corona. It's so easy to manipulate. It's just the worst ever script ever. And it was just up for me day one. I was like, oh man. And it's like, for me in England, the UK, the only person that had a look at, like, gave me some filthy, dirty looks was actually just a Muslim guy with his wife, hijab. Probably because they just think it's something that suits their sensibilities, and you do get the odd militant person that thinks that, who are you? Looking the way you are, and you're not wearing that, you're all too fronty as women, because there is that misogyny in that culture a little bit in some men, which you get everywhere. But there you go. So to facilitate that, it become the norm. Put your mask on. So people telling you to put the mask on is actually fucking disgusting for me. Day one, just go away. Day one, I turned the TV off. And now I can't even look at my own phone for the Google targeting me with specifics that are just going to wind me up in the morning. Like the government is anybody to stop people going and seeing the world. Like the world isn't everybody's. Oh, you have to be part of some cult, some sterile, clinically OCD cult. And I was like, I did a TikTok on it. I was just sort of saying homes are the microcosm and the macrocosm, and mothers and OCD and certain this dominance that a lot of people exhibit over their kids, and that's been coming through for quite some time. Since Victorian times, if you want to look at Adam Bede, George Eliot, thou shouldn't want to have ownership over my mind, body and soul, mother. That is your microcosm of macrocosm. Obviously, Adam Bede was a crushed individual there, and he obviously you can see that his spirit's flat in Victorian times because of the result of mothering society. Thus translates to the broader sense, and doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's right. It means that they've sterilised your outlook of the way you should be living your life. Sterilised it via channel after channel after channel. The machine learning has become thine enemy to a certain degree. There's many of ostracised parents from their kids. There's many of kids that just turned their back on their parents and never actually look back and run away. So it's like there are tribes and tribes of people out there that just go, do you know what, NHS and Bupa don't cut it. NHS and the news is a governmental driven thing, and it's very become obvious the channels and the marginalising of some avenues and some people. Bupa, oh, you're rich, you can live in your mansion, probably never get an NHS poxy letter through your post. Poxy letter. I ain't fucking clapping something that reminds me every 6 months about cancer. I think it's a pollutant through my fucking door. I think that's a pollutant, the TV, in my senses. My mum has one on every room, the TV, advert-wise. Funeral care, Oh, it's great to be reminded of death, because death becomes all of us. We all suffer from death. Even Buddha says, oh, we must remind ourselves of the loss because it will prepare us for it when it comes and stuff like that. But no, not really. Not from fucking strangers that are making pennies off of it. Not when you're myself that come up with a strategic idea to alleviate that stress of having to worry about saving money for it. The greys. Our society, our culture is far from perfect. And there are people quite sick because of people making money. Money. All you getting your jab is a money flow thing, a money systematic, a trend that I find quite repulsive. And actually, I think I'm developing an ulcer from the fact that these people have that much power over people, and it's really upsetting. It's like living in a tribe of monkeys in a jungle with an abusive, fat, dirty orangutan owning it, calling all the shots, like, and everybody going, well, I need to earn the money to make my banana. So they go, yeah, let's all bump on board, let's all just wear it. And they're all so shallow and unworldly and unappreciative of just how easy technology can get into us and corrode our whole perception of joy, happiness, fun, if it wants to. Intelligence, emotional intelligence, and people that don't have big friend circles or input, they are being abused, systematically abused, wagely abused. There are lots of people out there being that. We all just turn a blind eye. People go out on the streets and march, and there's people that feel that in their energetics. They're the people that take to the streets. They're the people that get out there and start doing stuff because they can feel people suffering. We sit in our own little bubbles, locked away. Best I can do is put it out there, put it on my Facebook. I got banned for 30 days because of machine learning tech. A helicopter joke that goes because it has. Will this get me banned for simulating a rectum? And doing that is no, it won't, because it's not nudity. It doesn't feature nudity. But anyway, that was what I got banned for. And to any if you need any more proof that it didn't offend anyone, I tested it again. There's one with Gordon Ramsay making a pie, and it shows beans and it cuts to a rectum. And then this one. And then I put it down, way down low on a wall with no comments, no followings, no likes or nothing. And the minute I did it, 30-day ban after I put the post about getting banned. So machine learning, which is in the feed magazines, which I get because I go to the BMV, the media institutional places that teach us the importance of password sharing. You think it ain't any different in NHS and medical, an overlord like pharma industrial. Corona. So anyway, this tells you about that. Talks about machine learning and how it can basically encode a video. Just send it out like in a bit of bait, and then. So if you're just sharing something you find informative by WhatsApp, which is also a Facebook governmental app, it's under a big umbrella of tech. And for some reason, I feel that in my sinews and my bones, and I feel that in my person all the time. I feel it some days worse than others. I wake up in a bad mood, and like I said, it's like a weather system. I'm like, is it raining? Because I am like, literally my soul's gone to that place again. And then it's like, get up, just developed my new thing, just do the clearing, do the atmospheric clearing, take control of your own dimensions. And just to add to that before I go, there was a communal squat thing in London at one point called The Hive, and I didn't understand it, but it was a bit esoteric society like, because whoever was calling the shots, they were eco warriors and different types of people. They call them rebels, but they were talking about how to get around the planet without the actual infrastructure. Like if they closed the borders, or if they said, no, you can't leave the country, and that's more than capability of a country, like a government that actually gives up, quits in a way. They might have just did their cash cow, make their trillions from COVID, likes of Trump and Fathead and all them lot, make their trillions and go, let's quit the game. And if that happens, what do? You band together as a community. I did come up with a thing called social worker franchiseeing, which then can have a call centre and actually be just another layer of care that would be so dynamic in its nature, it would just go and blow the NHS out the water potentially. Not saying I'm just going against the government. It's not being a rebel. It's just saying they're shit and they don't do their job and they've made my life a misery personally. They've falsified my CRBs and I have no respect for them anymore. That's fine. It's okay. You're allowed to live free on the land. I don't want letters coming through my postbox, full stop. In an ideal world, I want just things that are, yeah, I think the whole world's coming to that kind of those natural conclusions, not conclusions. It's not because people go conclusions, I don't want to see the end of things. But it's no, you keep that all going, you just diversify it. Because we live in a trusting vibration. You keep check of those people coming through your because obviously borders are important for criminals, trafficking and things like that. That's important. Not denying that, but that's all really. People are done with like the draconian shitty vibes over people and threat to them and crap, and the people in uniforms that are oppressive, they're done with it all. And I think mostly we're most coming around to the same sort of ethos, most people. It's only the sort of like hick Americans are caught up in their complexities, but I think there is a lot more. I like the UK. It's the most thoughtful country really on some levels, It's a Christian nation, that's the main important thing. It's a healing believer. They like their Muhammad, we like our healers. This world's been a trash shithole, man. It's been a fucking head fuckery massive. Like literally, we think anybody got the right to go to there, to do that, to implement their systematics, just to bring people up to this speed where they can actually just stop you leaving your own country or be whatever fucking mentalist they want to, or jab you, or whatever. What is it? A system. The Earth wasn't supposed to become a prison system within a system within a system. Thanks to enabling, facilitating parentage and schooling throughout the ages that taught us this. But I'm very grateful for my schooling because it actually taught me social commentary ain't shit, actually. And the library taught me that social commentary ain't shit because you can read about Knights Templars and how they were diverse in themselves, and there was black ones back in the Victorian times. Or you can read about the workhouses that treated the lowest working class white people like turd. You split up from your family, work to the bone, and it's only when hip hop culture floods in, they go, yeah, look at the black man's right. But it's only hip hop culture. But then Liverpool and London were all immersed and integrated anyway. And even down to things like no blacks, no Irish, no dogs wasn't really necessarily just because of that. What you're listening to for that screen didn't take into account the crash accusers around establishments that were mostly of those two demographics. Street culture will teach you a lot about stuff you don't know, and your own life experience will. Social commentary, blow it all up. That's me being the overlord.